So Disney is no stranger to controversy, whether it's some of the movies that they release, and I'm talking namely in their live actions, or it's some of their casting choices, or it could always be something else like them going back and forth with a certain politician. And depending on what side of the aisle you're really on, this may actually be considered good news. If you check the headline, look at what it says. Disney's Chief Diversity Officer, Latondra Newton, departs. Let's go through this article and then I'll tell you the implications behind what this means. But before we get into it, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and consider subscribing. So Latondra Newton has worked as Disney's Chief Diversity Officer for the past 6 years. She was hired in around 2017 and she joined Disney Studios in around February after she left a prominent career in Toyota, where she was the lead for their inclusionary efforts. In short, what she did at Disney, she did for Toyota. I think it's important to kind of qualm one of the questions that might be asked, which is, was she fired? Because if she was fired, then the implication would be that Disney might be taking another route with someone else. As you know, Disney has caught some backlash for some of their inclusionary method, whether it be the controversy of race swapping when it comes to casting, or even their level of diversity seems to rub some people the wrong way. Honestly, not me. I'm not really a fan of Disney, so I really don't care. But in this case, all she's doing is just taking her talents elsewhere. So after Disney, she seems to be joining another corporate board. And now what they're going to be doing is, instead of going a different direction, they're going to be continuing in the same direction, just with a different body, as the search for a new diversity chief begins. So really, if you thought you didn't like her, from what I've witnessed, Disney doesn't really seem to be pulling their punches when it comes to inclusion or diversity. So the very next person that might take this job might just have some color in their hair, to those of you that understand that reference. Around 2020, when racial tensions had really reached a high point, Latondra, along with Bob Chapek and Bob Iger, all signed a letter to their employees titled "Resolve in a Time of Unrest," and they also made a pledge now to bring about real change. A little while after, Disney then donated about $5 million to the NAACP and other social organizations. They directed around $140 million in charitable donations to underrepresented communities. And as this is just a side note, but you also saw the return of Bob Iger and the departure of Bob Chapek. Even their CFO, Christine McCarthy, who had been with Disney for more than 2 decades, is also taking some time away. So that's what's going on right now. There's a bit of a shakeup at Disney. And while some might be ready to clap their hands and say that a shakeup at Disney is a really good thing, I would suggest you pause. Consider a few things. People have been complaining about Disney for a while now. Casting choices, seemingly forcing in diversity and inclusion, as some put it, or as some people may put it, forcing their quote-unquote agenda down some people's throat. Now, a lot of this happened under the watchful eye of Latondra Newton and Bob Iger. Now, while Bob Iger is still present, what makes you think that upon the resignation of Latondra Newton, because people complain about Disney movies but the movies still make money, that they wouldn't just continue in the direction that they're already heading, where they see the culture going, or they wouldn't just ramp it up even more with someone else that might make you wish that Latondra Newton was actually back. Sure enough, it could even be that if she leaves there with a good reputation, which I see no reason why she wouldn't be, she might even be able to put in some suggestions into Bob Iger's ear as to who her replacement should be, offering that kind of level of recommendation. So if you thought The Little Mermaid caused a little bit of a stir, just wait until you see The Sword in the Stone remade in a live-action movie, played by a 300-pound non-binary individual with blue hair, and then tell me what you think. That's all I got for now, guys. Tell me, do you think this is good news or do you think this is bad news? Are you looking favorably upon who's coming next, or are you actually dreading it because you love Disney so much? As for me, admittedly, after The Last Jedi, I was kinda done, and I really have no intention of changing that. That's all I got for now, guys. I'll see you for the next one. Be easy, y'all.